Hello and welcome to Board Game Bonkers. My name is Jay Sears, and today we're going to take a look at our top 10 board games for children that adults will enjoy. Now, I play a lot of different board games with my children, and quite a lot of them I don't enjoy, but this lot are enjoyable and I get a lot out of it. Now, technically, a couple of these are not technically just for children, they are family type games, but certainly ideal for children as well. So we're going to go through this list. I'm going to rank them from my least favourite to my most favourite, starting with number 10 and moving all the way up to number 1. Now, before we get to the list, please do consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And please comment down below as well. Let us know your picks and what you play with your children that you enjoy. So with that out of the way, let's get down to the list, starting with our number 10. And our number 10 is Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. And this game has a bit of a roll and move. You roll some dice, you move your characters, and what you're trying to do is collect these gems. But wait, there's ghosts that are coming out into this haunted house. That's right, you'll be revealing a card at the start of your turn, and that'll tell you where you put that ghost. When you get 3 white ghosts in a particular room, that turns into a red, mean, really scary ghost. And if you get 3 of those red ghosts, then, well, before you collect the gems and get them out of the house, the game is over. This is quite fun and enjoyable for children. I think adults will get a lot out of it as well, because although it's a simple roll and move, you can go through rooms, which is a lot quicker than going through one individual space at a time. It is fun for adults because you're engaging with the children, it's cooperative, so you're working together, you get the children to think, well, which way should you go? You can also increase the difficulty by putting in locked door cards as well. It's not a game I was in love with, but I certainly got a lot of enjoyment with my children. They enjoyed it and it was quite fun to play it together. So check it out, Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. That's right, I've named it correctly. So let's move on to our number 9 next, and that is Ice Cool. Ice Cool is a dexterity game, and where you'll be flicking these penguins, and one player will be the penguin to try and catch the others. You flick a card, obviously, which penguin that is, and what the other penguins are trying to do is they'll be flicking their penguin to get through the doorways and collect the fish that are attached on top of the doorway, so they just clip in, and you'll be trying to get the colour of matching your penguin with a matching coloured fish, and you'll be trying to do that before you get caught, and you get caught by the other player flipping their penguin and hitting your penguin. Now, the penguins can be a little bit tough for you really young players to flick and may hurt the fingers, but this is super fun. I'm actually really good at this. I haven't yet lost, but it is enjoyable. It's just super fun with kids. It's not one we own, but I played this quite a few times, and the kids do get, and adults both get a lot of fun out of this. It really is cool. And that is Ice Cool, our number 9. Check it out. So let's move on to our number 8, and that is Cluster. Cluster is a really simple game. We actually covered this in our quickfire reviews, and all you're doing, you've got some string and some magnets. You'll be putting those magnets in the string, trying not to cluster them together. Some magnets push other magnets away, some actually bring those magnets closer to the one you're putting down. It's very simple and straightforward, and whoever is the one that doesn't have any magnets in the hand, so the managed to place them all inside that circle, is the winner. Really super simple, very minimalistic rule set, but the kids seem to enjoy this. It's quick, takes about 5 minutes, and that is Cluster, our number 8. Let's now move on to number 7, and that is Concept Kids Animals. Now, Concept Kids, there's a standard one for adults, although some children will be able to play that. This one specifically, Animals, is for kids. And what you'll be doing, you have this big board and you have these rings. And you'll be putting these rings in the particular places where you think the animal that you're trying to describe to other players looks like. So what you do is you reveal a card and that will show you an animal. You'll then try and describe that animal by placing those rings into the different places on the boards. For example, is it a carnival? Is it an animal that lives in the house? Is it black? Is it white? What colour is it? What kind of fur has it got? What has it got? A beak? How many legs has it got? And you're trying to describe that without telling them through words, but describing it through pictures what that animal is. The other players have got to try and guess what the animal is, and then they get the card if they guess correctly. It's really fun for kids, and it's particularly younger kids, and it teaches them how to describe what something looks like without talking, but through pictures. It really is quite a clever way of doing it. The original concept is a lot more complex than this, although it's still simple and straightforward. This one's super simple, and I think the adults will enjoy playing this with their kids as well. So let's now move on to our number 6, and that is Drag Omino. Now, some people might be familiar with King Domino, but Drag Omino certainly is much more streamlined and basic, and certainly aimed towards children. And simply, you've got some tiles, you just be flicking the tile over in your turn, place it in front of you, and you'll be trying to connect the two similar types of terrains. That then gives you a particular type of token that you'll be collecting, which is a dinosaur. You'll be flicking that over to see whether it's a new dinosaur that's been hatched or not. And it's very simple. Once you've got the dinosaurs placed on to your little area, then that'll score you points. So that is Drag Omino. Very simple, streamlined, straightforward. Plays in about 20 minutes. Scoring is quite simple because some of those tokens are eggs. And what that means is you will go first in your next turn. Some are dinosaurs, so you want to get the dinosaurs because each one gives you a point. So you're simply just matching up two terrains with another, and you can place them any way you like in any orientations. You're not restricted by that, which is a lot easier and much more straightforward for children to play. I think adults enjoy this. It's really quick and simple. Check it out. That's Drag Omino, our number 6. So let's now move on to our number 7. Not number 7, because we'd be going back the wrong way. We're actually going forward up the ladder. Let's move to our number 5. That is Dragon's Breath, another dragon themed game. Instead, this time you have rings. And these ice rings, and inside those ice rings, because you'll be stacking them up, you'll be placing your gems in. And what each player will do on their turn, they'll take a ring off, and then the gems will fall. Obviously, there's a lot of gems in the rings, but the ones that fall to the ground, you'll be able to, each player take one and be able to put that in the pile, and they're trying to match up the same colours to score points. You have an expansion, which I highly recommend, and it gives you cards, and you'll be able to place those gems onto those cards. We have 3 laid out, and essentially trying to fulfill those cards. This is a real fun, simple game, a bit of dexterity, where you're going to be taking the rings off. You're trying to be careful not to knock them all off. And you're also looking to see what gems might fall. So you've got some idea. This will cause a little bit of luck because you don't know what gems will fall down. The box is used, which is quite smart because you're going to place and stack those gems and rings in the center of that board, and they've got a lot of holes in them, so any gems that fall down, they're lost, so you don't know which ones will actually still stay on the board. Really simple and straightforward. I enjoyed this probably more than the children, but I think adults will enjoy it. It's very simple and straightforward. Check it out. That is Dragon's Breath. So let's now move on to our number 4. This is Kids Chronicles Quest for the Moonstones. Now, you have other Chronicles, Chronicles of Crime, which is for adults. This Kids Chronicles Quest for the Moonstones is delivered for children. Very simple and straightforward. You'll be laying cards out on this board. The board is double-sided. You have a snowy side, and then you have a more of a vibrant sunny side. And what you'll be doing, playing those cards out, the game will tell you what cards. There's 5 different chapters to go through. I think there's 5 different gemstones you've got to try and get. And what you're doing, you put those cards down, scan them into this app. The app's very good and well integrated. It'll give you some story information, and it might tell you what card to put out next. You'll be collecting some item cards. You'll be matching those items with other items. You'll be scanning the code in on the cards to meet characters, reveal new characters, try and work out who's got the gemstone to collect those gemstones. Once you've got the 5th one, that's you completed the quest. Really simple and straightforward, based on the same concept of Chronicles of Crime, but much, much more streamlined and tailored towards children. But I think a lot of parents will get a lot out of this, or grandparents playing with the children or grandchildren and going through that journey. It's a very simple story, and although it might be quite basic, it's actually quite well written. And we covered this in one of our reviews when we did a freelance review of children's board games, so check that out if you haven't already done so. So that is our number 4, Kids Chronicles. Really fun adventure type of game that uses an app. Now, you don't like to use an app, that's perfectly fine. There are other adventure games, but this one does it so well and just introduces you that story. So move on to our next one, that's a number 3, and that's Deep Sea Adventures. Deep Sea Adventures, although technically it can be aimed towards anyone, whether it's adults or children, it certainly is designed for children. That was the main purpose of this game. And simply, you are divers, and what you'll be doing, you have a shared oxygen pool from your submarine, and you'll be laying these tokens face down, and at the back of them, they've got 1, some are number 2, 3, and 4. Now, the ones that are obviously number 4 are much more lucrative in treasure than the ones that are number 1, but they're further down. And what you're trying to do, you roll a die in your turn, you'll be moving down the number of spaces and choosing where you collect that treasure or not. The trick is, when you've got treasure, you'll be reducing your oxygen pool. It's a shared oxygen pool. So you'll be working out, right, can I get back to the submarine in time? Because when you roll that die to go back to your submarine, you're going to deduct the number of treasure you have against the number of pips you've got. So if you roll a 2 and you've got 1 treasure, you can only move 1 space. So it restricts you the more treasure you've got. And you're trying to work out how much treasure have I got to how many spaces I can move. Bear in mind the die number only goes up to 3, and how much of that shared oxygen pool I've got. So it's really fascinating, and it has a push your luck mechanism. Super fun, super quick. You just do that twice and see who's got the most treasure, and then you reveal it when you get back to the top. You can't actually look at the treasure when you collect. You have to wait till you get back to the submarine. If you don't, you get that whole pile that goes down to the very bottom. It stacks up and it's considered just one pile of treasure. So that's going to be lucrative if you get that. Super fun, small compact game, plays in about 15-20 minutes. Really simple rule set. I highly recommend checking it out. Deep Sea Adventure. And let's now move on to our number 2, and that is Micro Macro. Now, Micro Macro is quite an interesting game because it's like Where's Wally? You simply have this giant map and you have different levels, so stacks of cars at different levels, and you'll be solving crimes because it's a crime city. And what you do in Micro Macro, is you will be looking at those cars, revealing them. They'll give you a bit of a hint to say, you know, find this particular house, for example. You'll find that, and it's very small, so you have this magnifier. You're trying to find it in this giant map city where there's lots of crime, and then you're flicking each card over. It gives you more clues to try and deduce who committed that crime and build up this story and answer the final questions. Super simple, really fun. The kids loved playing this and looking at this big giant map, trying to find out, you know, what's went on and trying to trace back, because you've got to trace things back. And then you've got to look at what's actually happening and try and figure out what's going on. Super simple, fun, friendly, big laugh. I think a lot of people enjoy this, and it's great as well for any group to be bringing this out and playing it, not just for kids. So let's now finish off with our number 1, and that is Draftosaurus. Draftosaurus is super fun. And although it's a family game, and that's what it's tailored for, great for children and adults to be playing this. Simply, you have got a dinosaur park. You'll be what's called pool drafting. So you'll be pulling out some dinosaurs from a bag. You'll be looking at those dinosaurs, picking one, placing it into your park, and then passing those dinosaurs to the next player in clockwise order. But there's a little bit of a twist here. You'll be rolling a die on your turn, and that'll tell the other players where they can and cannot place their dinosaurs. It restricts them. But of course, the player rolling the dice has no restriction. They can place their dinosaur anywhere. So you'll be doing that a couple of times, a couple of rounds round. And then once you've done that and you've placed all your dinosaurs out, you then score at the points who's got the most points. The boards are double-sided, so you can play a winter side or you can play the desert side. Super fun, super streamlined. Even the scoring is actually quite streamlined, and I was quite surprised because I played this with my son, who was 6 at the time, and he managed to work it out and figure out roughly how he can get points. So it's fairly streamlined, great for kids and adults, super fun. I really enjoy bringing this one out, and it plays in about 20 minutes. So that brings us to the end. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you've got some suggestions as well. Perhaps you can recommend to other viewers that perhaps we've missed off, or some great kids games that you get a lot of joy out of as an adult. But I think these games that we've gone through as an adult, I think you will enjoy them as well, if not more than the children themselves. So if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and also give our videos a like. It really does help the channel grow and helps others discover those videos, and more likes and comments that we've got. So that brings us to the end. I'd like to thank you so much for watching this, and please do share it if you feel that others will have some value from watching this video. And until next time, take care.